consists of the hits from hockey, the positions of soccer, the paths from football, and the strategies of basketball. Can you imagine it? What if I told you that not only does the sport exist, it's also the fastest growing sport in America today, according to sportsnetwork.com. I'm here today to tell you about the amazing sport of lacrosse. As someone who has played this sport for over 10 years, I take it as my personal responsibility to educate and spread awareness as to why and what makes this sport so amazing. So that's what I want to do for you today. I want to highlight some of the history about lacrosse and what it is, and what exactly the sport is today. So, as I'm sure most of you know, lacrosse started out as a Native American sport exclusively played by men. According to the U.S. Lacrosse Association, the earliest accounts of lacrosse occurring are from 1630 from French explorers. However, later accounts of more detailed rituals and roles of the game did not come about until the 1800s. These accounts took place mainly on the east coast of what is now the United States. However, more specifically, they took place in three Indian nations, which were the Southeast, the Great Lakes, and the Iroquois Nation, which was, couldn't find it on a map, but it was about right here. So each one of these areas contained several different tribes, each tribe containing their own rituals and roles to play the game. However, each record of the game from that time recorded a wooden stick with a leather mesh pocket and a leather ball made out of deerskin. Records of exactly how the game took place when it first started are scarce, so it is speculative as to how it got its shape today. However, one aspect that does not need speculation is the echoing effect of where the game takes place today. Lacrosse is much more popular on the East Coast than it is on the West Coast. So much so that if I was giving an informative speech on lacrosse in Maryland, that would be a crazy concept. However, as the sport continues to age, the growth in popularity in the West Coast is growing exponentially. According to USLacrosse.com, the sport has seen an increase of 3.5% in the last year, and last year actually marked the 11th consecutive year that the net increase of players topped 20,000. So with that staggering number in growth in the West Coast, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what the game is today. So I'm just going to start off with pretty much like the four main positions of lacrosse. So this is a midfielder, and what the midfielder is they're pretty much seen as like the runner on the lacrosse team. They run about 3 to 5 miles every single game, and according to Athlete Acceleration, 3 to 5 of those miles, are 75% of that running is sprinting. They play both offense and defense, so they're kind of like the midfielders in a soccer game. They are considered some of people on the team who are in the best shape. As you can see right here, they have elbow pads to protect their elbows, gloves to protect their hands, and everybody wears helmets and shoulder pads. You can see right there and right there. Next, we have the attack. The attack are seen as mainly the goal scorers or the assisters of the team. They strictly play offense. There's 3 of them on the field at a time. As you can see, they're also wearing shoulder pads underneath that jersey, elbow pads, and gloves, along with the short stick. And according to lacrosse.com, attack are typically short and fast, or larger and have the ability to shoot the ball fast. And this is just one of the reasons why I actually love the sport of lacrosse. Is that you don't have to be in any sort of like previous physical shape where you play football. You kind of have to be bigger. You play basketball, you have to be taller. Everybody can play the sport of lacrosse no matter what size you are, shape you are. Some of the best players I've played with have been this tall or this tall, so it really doesn't matter. Just another reason why I love the game. Next up, we have defense. There are also 3 defensive men on the field at a time. They have to stay on their side of the field, just like attack have to stay on their side of the field. You can see the defense, otherwise known as D-pole, have a longer stick, allowing them to play defense. They play zone or man-to-man, kind of like basketball. Their job is to protect the goalie, protect, pretty much, play defense, prevent shots from being fired or scored. Next up, we have the goalie, which is kind of near and dear to my heart because I've played goalie. There is one on the field for each team at a time. They stay inside the goal. As you can see, the stick is a little bit different for a goalie. They have a bigger head to stop shots. As you can also see, they don't wear elbow pads, allowing them to move more freely, so it's not as constraining. They stand in a 6 by 6 foot goal, and their job is to stop shots and make good outlet passes when they do to get the ball back down on offense, kind of like a fast break in basketball. And a random fact, goalies like to wear sweats even when it's not that cold. I'm not too sure why. And lastly, I just wanted to show you a lacrosse field. Right here, we have this side of the field. You can see there is the 3 defensive men and the 3 attack men and the goalie inside the goal. We have middies right here, the 3 middies on the field, and they can cross the midfield line. Each field is 110 yards long, and just like hockey, they also have a penalty box. Right here would be the restraining line, so it's kind of like in basketball when you have to get, when you get like over the court before, so like in basketball, like before you get like an over and back, you have to pass the restraining line. And then midfield, where center X is, this would be like center court where you tip it off in basketball. So that's just a little information on what the field is like. And in conclusion, I hope that I've been able to give you further insight on the game that I love so much and maybe encouraged you to go give it a try. If you like hockey, soccer, football, or basketball, then I'm sure you'll love lacrosse. Thank you.
John, a little longer speech.
Yeah.
Topic that's near and dear to your heart. Do you play for the club team?
I was going to, but it is like outrageously expensive, and I'm already paying out of state tuition. So yeah.
All right. How did it go for you?
I think it went pretty well. I think I forgot to give one of my stats. I think we had to give, what was it, 6? I think I only gave 5 because I forgot to give 1. But besides that, I think it went well. I felt comfortable with this. I didn't have to look at the paper as much. So, and I like using presentations.
Okay. Teammates, if you could please offer some feedback, provide some feedback.
I like how you organize your speech and get clear about some different positions and then field positioning. So I thought that worked pretty well. Just a suggestion next time, not having paper in your hand because it's
Okay.
distracting. But otherwise, I thought it was really well.
I also thought it was very well organized and the slides were appropriate, but I noticed you would speak to the screen instead of to the audience.
I could just really tell you were very comfortable up there because it's such a topic so personal to you. And yeah, the only thing that Jason mentioned was you need to keep better eye contact, and that's the only thing I could really notice that was bad about it. But besides that, everything was perfect.
Okay. John, I want to call attention to your introduction. You asked questions, and the way that you did it was very punctuated and intentional, and allowed your audience to have some time with it, mull over what it was that you were saying. So I appreciate that you asked the questions, but you didn't just run through them like a long list. You actually, which to me suggests that you're more comfortable and you're more confident in delivering the information. So all good. Beneficial to you. You noted clearly what your credibility was. You noted clearly your thesis statement. I might have maybe tied it to the audience a little bit. How can you know, where might we see this?
Okay.
You know, whatnot. So noting the club team or something that maybe we have an opportunity. Couple of things that you did with regards to content and the body of your speech that I'll highlight for you. One was that I appreciated that your personal experience, that you connected in there. You used me language, which let us build that relationship between you and your topic, which was nice to hear. And it also sort of changes the expression on your face a little bit too, in a positive way. I also appreciated that you you mentioned lacrosse and you mentioned all those other sports at the beginning of your speech, and you tied that back in periodically throughout your speech. So if you watch basketball, if you watch soccer, so for those that might play those other sports, it was that quick cue. Oh, wait a second. Okay, get back to it. So I thought that was rather effective. A couple of things that I noticed. Yes, I would say look at us rather than the screen.
Okay.
I know it's tempting to look at that. What you might do in the future, if you want to get a laser pointer, so that you can point out where it is that you want us to look, that can be sometimes helpful. It just makes you aware when you're looking and when you're not looking. Filler language, just pay attention to the ums and the uhs, a little bit of that, and a little bit of swaying back and forth as your speech went on. So pay attention to some of those things. I heard your citations, and I thought in some cases you did a nice job of integrating them into your speech. Thank you.
Just connect.
She wanted to use
No?
On the other side.
this side.
On the long side, then you had your hand covered.
Nope. Okay, so rotate it. Just rotate it. Rotate. There you go.
You got it. Question is, do I have this capability on my computer? I don't.
That you should.
I
Wait,
don't
what-
have
what-
this little.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't have that on. Oh no, is that where it's supposed to be? Thank you so much.
There it is.
What do you think of